Hello, and welcome back to another video. I am here today to talk about hiking, all things hiking and stuff like that. So I work at REI. We are on furlough right now. I'm not really sure what the future is gonna hold, so I may go back, may not. Who the heck knows at this point what is coming in the future? But I kind of first found my love for hiking starting with going to REI. I was about to work in Colorado for the summer in the mountains at a family guest ranch, and I needed some hiking stuff like chacos and things like that. I didn't get hiking shoes, but I got outdoorsy stuff for kind of like the very first time. So this is my introduction to the outdoor world. And then I went to Colorado, and all my coworkers love to go whitewater rafting, hike, rock climb, basically do all this like fun adventurous stuff, go horseback riding, of course. And so that's kind of how I got introduced to the outdoor world. I used to hate hiking. Believe it or not, I said, why walk when a horse can do it for you? And that was still most of my sentiment the time that I was at this dude ranch. But I slowly kind of did some hikes, kind of got more exposed to the concept of it. And ever since then, it's been almost 3 years now, I have loved hiking. I love my hiking boots, my hiking socks, my backpack, basically everything hiking related. I even worked at REI because of it. So yeah, that's kind of the initial birth of that journey. And then when I went to Ireland, before I went, I bought my first pair of hiking boots because I knew that I was probably going to do a lot of hiking and walking outdoor stuff. And so I got that and went to Ireland, and I wore them a lot, even if I wasn't hiking and I was just walking around the city, traveling, because they are a very universal shoe. Obviously, they can kind of be kind of clunky, but they also like help support your feet and your walk, and with cobblestone streets, it's just nice to have a shoe that helps support your feet. So that's kind of the beginning of it. Ireland was the actual like initial spark, like the momentum picked up. Like I said, it started in Colorado, and then it fully ignited once I went to Ireland. I did 2 weekend trips with their club, Outdoor Pursuits. We went on very long all-day hikes. I also hiked in Kings Canyon before Ireland. Actually, this was another one of my first big hikes with my dad. After Colorado, my dad and I went to Kings Canyon in California, and we did a very long like full-day hike to a waterfall. So that was kind of like the precursor, but I didn't have hiking shoes then. Now I have hiking shoes and all that stuff. So this is when it's like really ramping up. Then I worked at Hume Lake, which was in Kings Canyon that summer, and it's like fully, I'm a hiker. Like I love this stuff. I went on lots of different hikes there. One by myself. I also went on like one hike when I was in Ireland by myself. So, I'm getting very much more experienced and comfortable with the hiking world. And then I went to Colorado again after Hume Lake, and I hiked a 14er, which is, if you don't know what that is, if you're not in the hiking world, basically a 14er is a mountain that is 14,000 feet elevation. It's a very coveted thing in the hiking world, being a part of the 14er club. I didn't do it when I was working in Colorado, although a lot of my coworkers did, because I just wasn't really equipped and trained hiking-wise to do so. And even when I thought that I was equipped and trained hiking-wise, it was a beast. A couple reasons why. First, I was only there for 3 days, so I wasn't fully acclimated to the altitude, and so that was a big factor. I was also sick with a cold, which also had a very big factor, because your lungs are doing so much work the higher you get, and the altitude, you can get headaches and stuff like that, dehydrated easier, a lot of things can happen. So that's kind of what happened with me, a mixture of already being sick, altitude sickness, and it just being a hard hike. I did that with a friend, and it was a very, very hard experience. The best way I can compare it to is Harry Potter. So Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, I think, Dumbledore is drinking this poison basically, and he wants to give up, but Harry makes him to keep going, and that's kind of how it felt. I wanted to give up, but I had to keep going, and I would stop, take a breather, wait till the next little time to stop, take a breather, and then once I got to the top, it wasn't even that rewarding. Yes, you're above on top of a mountain, you can see so much, but I've seen prettier stuff on different hikes. I mean, when I lived in Colorado for that summer, I went to Hanging Falls or Hanging Tree Falls or something like that, and it's a beautiful waterfall. That was a very hard hike too, but it's a very beautiful waterfall and a nature preserve, so you can't swim in it. You gained a lot of altitude with that hike in a short amount of time versus it being stretched out, but that was hard, but so much more worth it in my opinion, and even other hikes I'd done in the past. So that's kind of I guess another thing I want to touch on, just because it's a very coveted hike, a hiker's challenge and dream, and this is how you truly show your hiking athleticism. Doesn't mean you need to prove something to someone to fit into this club and to be one of them. It's something that I've kind of realized, even with working at REI. I mean, a lot of my coworkers were very much, more extreme hikers than I was, and it's very easy to kind of, I guess, feel like you need to, be one of them, but you can do your own hikes, and that's the message that I want to say is just start hiking. Start small, work your way up to bigger ones, figure out the type of people you like hiking with, because everyone has their own pace and their style of hiking, and just go out and explore. I love to go explore by myself sometimes, to explore with people. I have gone on really cool trails in Utah with my family this past summer. I've hiked all throughout Europe, it feels like, California. So yeah, just go out and hike. Obviously it's good to get proper equipment. Make sure you try on lots of different hiking shoes. Talk to people, do research on which one's going to be best for you, because as someone who worked at REI, I know a lot goes into hiking shoes. Same with hiking gear, what backpack you want, what type of clothing, and all that type of stuff. But yeah, if you have any questions about hiking, what trails to go on in certain states and stuff, I know about Colorado, Utah, and California the best. And I also know Ireland pretty well, so yeah, and Switzerland a little bit, and Italy kind of. But yeah, so that's it for the video. I don't really have a ton to say with this other than I love hiking, I love the outdoors. I never thought that I would say that, but it just shows you how people can change their interests. I love to just be on the trail and just be with nature. It's also great for photography that I love to do. It gives me lots of different portraits and stuff of landscapes. So yeah, if you want to talk about hiking, I would love to talk more about it. I don't really know what else to say, but happy trails, and make sure that you are keeping the trails clean. That's another thing that I hate seeing when I'm on trails is trash everywhere. When you're in the outback, when you're in the out the country, the middle of nowhere, no one's coming to pick up your trash. So that's another thing that I feel very strongly about, is to help preserve the environment and the landscape. Leave no trail is kind of like a slogan that we hikers use. So yeah, anywho, have a good day, and I hope you shop at REI, and I hope that you go hiking. So yeah, that's it. Okay, bye.